Lyanna Stark was the third child of Rickard and Lyanna Stark. She is the younger sister of Eddard Stark, the older sister of Benjen Stark, and according to Game of Thrones, but not quite confirmed yet in the books, she is the mother of Jon Snow. Lyanna is described by some to be very beautiful. She has the quintessential Stark features: gray eyes, pale skin, brown hair, and is slim of frame. She is compared to Marjorie Tyrell, but the ones closest to her compare her closely to Arya Stark. They say Lyanna possessed a wild and boyish beauty. According to Eddard, Lyanna was just as wild as their older brother and possessed the wolf blood. Lyanna was betrothed to Robert Baratheon, much to her displeasure. Robert had already had a bastard prior to their engagement and was not known to be a good partner. However, Robert loved Lyanna, or maybe the idea of her. This potential union, however, would strengthen the bond, and thus the power, of the North and the Stormlands. During the year of the false spring, Lyanna was present for the tourney at Harrenhal. There, she met a young Howland Reed who had gotten into a little trouble with 3 squires. Lyanna attacked the squires and scared them away. She took Howland Reed back to her tent where she dressed his wounds. This would be the beginning of the fierce loyalty between Howland Reed and the Starks. During the tourney feast, Crown Prince Rhaegar Targaryen was present. He performed a song that made Lyanna weep. When Benjen teased her, she poured wine on his head in anger and embarrassment. When she located the squires that bullied Howland Reed, she pointed them out to her brothers. During the tourney, a mystery knight, described as being short in stature, defeated the knights that the 3 squires served and demanded ransom payment. The Mad King Aerys Targaryen demanded the identity of the mysterious knight be revealed and sent his son, Rhaegar, to find the knight. Nothing was found besides a shield. Some say that knight was Lyanna Stark herself. Rhaegar ended up winning the tournament and passed by his own wife, Queen Elia Martell, and named Lyanna Stark the Queen of Love and Beauty. This was a direct insult to the Starks, the Baratheons, and the Martells, though to this day, the Martells don't seem to hold a grudge against Rhaegar. Robert Baratheon laughed it off, but those closest to him knew that he was furious. The following year, it is said that Rhaegar kidnapped and assaulted Lyanna. Her oldest brother Brandon happened upon the news while headed to his own wedding to Catelyn Tully. He then decided not to go to his wedding, but to head to King's Landing to demand justice for his sister. Upon arrival, Brandon Stark was arrested and charged with treason. The Mad King called upon Lord Rickard Stark to answer for his son's crimes. Lord Rickard demanded a trial by combat. The Mad King chose fire as his champion. Lord Rickard Stark was burned alive and his son, Brandon, strangled himself in the attempt to save his father. The Mad King Aerys then demanded the heads of Robert Baratheon and Eddard Stark. Upon hearing the news, Jon Arryn, Robert and Eddard's foster parent, raised his banners. This was the start of Robert's rebellion. Upon further investigation, there is little evidence that Rhaegar kidnapped and assaulted Lyanna. Could it have been prophecy? We know that Rhaegar was motivated by prophecy. Could it have been love? We cannot be sure until the books reveal the truth. We do know that this war was the beginning of the downfall of House Targaryen. Robert slew Rhaegar during the Battle of the Trident. Kind Aerys went mad and was murdered by Jaime Lannister. Daenerys and Viserys were taken across the narrow sea where they became homeless beggars for a while. As for Lyanna, after Rhaegar was slain, Ned, Eddard Stark, traveled to Dorne to the Tower of Joy. There he found Lyanna covered in blood, but the room was filled with blue roses. Eddard made a promise to Lyanna on her deathbed. We can't be 100% sure what the promise was, but Ned Stark went back to Winterfell with a bastard son named Jon Snow.